Government shutdown. Day 11. Continuing coverage on WMAL.
Day 11, there is no deal, but there are some talks underway, and there is some optimism, first little glimmers of optimism, that something might come together. Joining us now on the line from Fox News Channel, our good friend Bret Baier. Bret, as things stand today, where are we?
Good morning. Well, we are in a negotiation point, which is better than where the country was before yesterday. And we're told that talks are continuing between the White House and Republicans. Today, Senate Republicans go to the White House. But the possibility that there is a broad deal and that the debt ceiling could be increased immediately and then possibly government reopened early next week is real from everything we're told.
Now, I noticed that when this meeting broke up at the White House, Republicans were at the White House. Everybody made a big deal about the fact that John Boehner didn't come to the microphones. What I saw in that, and I know probably with your practice eye you saw it as well, that's probably a good sign. Because
right.
If he came to the microphones and started talking, he was only going to harden his position.
Exactly.
If he walked away and said nothing, it's probably a sign that he needs to work through some things.
Exactly. And the fact that every statement that you had from Republicans and from the White House was that the talks continue and that both sides are working suggests that nobody put their foot down. Although, I'll tell you that Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid came out, and the question was, listen, if they give you the 6-week debt ceiling increase but don't open the government, pushing for negotiations on a budget deal, is that acceptable? And he said, not a chance.
Yeah. Well, Bret Baier, this leads me to my question, because so much of the narrative this week was, the John Boehner couldn't keep his own caucus together, and there were some Republicans saying they wanted a clean CR vote. We haven't heard much about unrest within the Democratic leadership, but what struck me was, 2 days ago, Harry Reid said, keep Joe Biden out of this. Politico reported that. We don't want Joe Biden part of these discussions. Well, yesterday at the White House, Joe Biden was right by the president's side, and Harry Reid was nowhere to be found. Could there be some trouble there?
Well, there could be, because from everything we've been told, Harry Reid has been the person on the no negotiation front. You got a bad deal last time. We need to hold the line and not negotiate. And I think he's been running point on that from everything we've heard about reporting inside the West Wing. So, now that they're in the process of what is called negotiating, you wonder whether Harry Reid and his plan may have kind of gone by the wayside.
Well, and certainly a lot of the polls suggested the majority of American people, forgetting about who they blame for the shutdown, 3/4 of Democrats and Republicans alike want there to be a compromise. That suggests there needs to be a negotiation of some kind, so yeah. Harry Reid's talking point wasn't really working.
Exactly. I think what happened was that talking point, even though, Republicans got criticized for saying, just talk, what are you going to get at the end of it? It's still stuck. And the whole thought of, why can't you talk? Sunk in with Democrats and Republicans. One CBS poll had it at 78% of the country wanted both sides to sit down and discuss to get over this impasse.
Something that was just priceless yesterday on Fox News was Peter Doocy
oh, yeah.
trying to log in to the Obamacare website. I mean, we played a little of this earlier. I mean, listen for our audience. Here's just a little bit of cut 15 maybe. You have a little sense of what was going on yesterday as Peter Doocy tried to get into the system.
Third unsuccessful attempt to create an account. I entered the live chat. He's telling me that I need to return in off-peak hours. He says somewhere between 11 p.m. and midnight. Healthcare.gov has a phone number as well, DOOCY. But that operator told me it's against their policy to create accounts over the phone, so I just needed to keep trying.
I mean, I don't think he ever got in, did he?
He didn't. And, I left at 8:30. He was still there. No, I'm just kidding. But we did start him early in the day, and we were in our morning meeting and said, I think it would be – I've seen other local reporters try to do it, and what I've seen on the web is really just frustrating to even look at. Why don't we have someone in our bureau kind of go through the process? And it started, and legitimately, it was all day.
Yeah, we had a caller who called, and you'll be interested to know this, and reported the exact same thing that Peter Ducey had experienced in his explanation. Exactly the same thing.
And Bret Baier, this has become the stuff of Comedy Central now. This can't be good for Obamacare. And there's now a report out of the Daily Mail that only 51,000 have signed up. This is based on 2 anonymous sources within HHS.
Listen, in Iowa, the local reporters there cite the insurance agencies, the statewide agency, and insurance companies that are supposed to be in the health exchange, and they report that a total of 5 people have signed up in Iowa. Now, if that's true, and it very well may be, because everyone I talk to says you can't get through the final stage of the security questions and then to see and actually sign up and pick. That's a big, big problem. And sure, things get worked out. But it's not exactly like the president said about Apple and working out glitches or an app that needs a little bit of a tweak and you reload it. This seems more systemic.
This would be like launching iTunes and nobody can get onto the website.
I mean, imagine a website that was launching a product and they had this big get out the public relations rollout, and then you couldn't get it. I mean, that company would not be doing well.
But the thing that I keep coming back to is the Republican position in the House of late has been, we need to delay this because we're not ready. And that seems, given what people are experiencing with the website, to be sort of an eminently reasonable position.
Exactly. For all of the talk about how Ted Cruz is nuts and how all these Tea Party Republicans are way out on the wing and nothing's going to happen on Obamacare, the reality is that what we're seeing real time is, kind of evidence for a lot of the critics that maybe you should delay it at the very least.
Bret Baier, the technical term is wacko birds, not nuts, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right, wacko birds.
We know you're a big sports fan. Major League Baseball, we're down to the Dodgers and the Cardinals on one side, and in the American League, Tigers and Red Sox. Do you have a dog in that fight?
I don't really.
Okay, then just root for the Tigers. Trust me, you can't go wrong.
Okay.
All right, Bret.
Anybody
They
but
need
the
a
Red
good break,
Sox.
don't they?
They do. Exactly. Something good in Detroit.
Something good.
Well, I also know that you go to the Redskin games on occasion.
I do.
I've seen you in the owner's box as a result.
I have been invited there.
And so, what do you think about the Redskins game and the Cowboys? They haven't had a great start, but there's hope springs eternal, I suppose.
Of course, yeah. You gotta believe. You gotta still believe, and obviously, Dan Snyder has put his foot down on the name, so he's got that behind him. And
yeah, Bret, we had Joe DeGeneva and Lanny Davis in studio for a live debate this morning on this.
Is that right?
Because Joe is in favor of changing the name, and Lanny is in favor of keeping the name. So
Sure.
it's going to be on Fox 5. Check out the footage on it.
Fantastic.
All right, Bret Baier, always good to have you.
Yeah, thanks.